Investing in altcoins during a bull market is exciting. The potential for massive gains draws in investors looking for the next big opportunity. But with high reward comes high risk. Many altcoins won't perform well, and even those that do might only succeed for a very short period before fading into irrelevance. If you're investing in altcoins, you need to understand your own appetite for risk and what you can afford to lose. Unlike Bitcoin and Ethereum, which have established themselves over multiple market cycles, most altcoins are still new, untested, and highly speculative. Many of them will never survive a bear market. That's just the reality of how this space works. Now, to put this into perspective, in the 2021 bull market, well over 5,000 new cryptocurrencies were launched. By the time the bear market hit, over 75% of those tokens had either lost most of their value or completely disappeared. That means that for every successful project, there were dozens of failures. And yet, every bull run, new investors repeat the same mistake, chasing hype instead of focusing on fundamentals. So today I'm going to show you exactly how to filter through thousands of altcoins and identify real opportunities while avoiding the scams, vaporware, and hype-driven projects that will eventually collapse. Let's start with the most important factor, researching the project's team. The team behind a project is often the biggest indicator of its potential success. A strong team with experience in blockchain development, finance, or tech startups is a positive sign. But too often, new projects are launched by anonymous teams or people with no track record of building anything successful. So where do you go to find this information? Start with the project's official website and white paper. Look at the team section and check their LinkedIn profiles. Do they have a history of working on successful projects? Have they worked in reputable companies or in the crypto space before? One of the best tools for verifying teams is Crunchbase. It lets you check the work history and funding rounds of founders. If the team has no real presence online, no LinkedIn profiles, and no track record, that's a red flag. Another great tool is Twitter. Reputable founders engage with a community, attend conferences, and share updates. If the team is completely silent, has no public presence, and avoids questions, that's another warning sign. Next, you need to check the development activity of the project. A great way to measure whether a project is real or just hype is by looking at its code updates. If a project has no active development, it's dead in the water. The best place to check this is GitHub. Almost every serious blockchain project has an open source GitHub repository where you can see how frequently the developers are pushing updates. If a project hasn't had any commits or code updates in months, it's a major red flag. Strong projects have consistent development activity and regular improvements because they're actually trying to build something that matters. Another great tool for checking this is cryptomiso.com. It ranks cryptocurrencies based on GitHub commit activity, showing which projects are actively being worked on. If you see that a project hasn't had a single code update in months, it's likely abandoned. Now, after verifying the team and development, the next step is understanding tokenomics, how the coin supply is structured. Some of the biggest scams in crypto history have been pump and dump schemes, where early investors hold the majority of the supply and dump on retail investors once the price pumps. To check a project's token supply and distribution, use CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. Look at the circulating supply versus the total supply. Another great resource to see the specific distribution of the supply of coins is Masari.io. If a project has a large percentage of tokens still locked up, it means early investors could flood the market with tokens later and crash the price. Another important factor is vesting schedules. Some projects lock up a large percentage of their supply for founders and early investors, but those tokens eventually unlock. When they do, they often lead to huge sell-offs. To check token unlock schedules, go to tokenunlocks.app. If a project has a massive token release scheduled in the near future, be aware that the price may crash once those tokens hit the market. The next key factor is network growth and adoption. A strong altcoin isn't just about hype. It has to be gaining real users, partnerships, and developer adoption. One of the best places to check network growth is Dune Analytics. You can find dashboards that track daily active users, transaction volume, and liquidity flows. If a project has no real usage, it's just speculation. Another great tool is DeFi Llama. It tracks total value locked, or TVL, across different DeFi projects, showing which platforms are actually attracting liquidity. If TVL is growing, that's a strong sign of adoption. Now let's talk about hype-driven communities and how to separate real engagement from paid shilling. Crypto communities can be powerful, but some projects rely entirely on hype instead of real adoption. They use tactics like fake engagement by using bots to spam social media with positive comments, paid influencers and celebrities to pump a token without disclosing sponsorships, raiding social media platforms to drown out criticism and create the illusion of demand. A real community is different. It asks critical questions, has organic discussions, and doesn't just repeat, "We're all gonna make it," over and over and over again. A great way to check if engagement is real is by using Twitter Audit or Social Blade to analyze the project's followers. If a token's official account has hundreds of thousands of followers, but almost no engagement on its post, those followers are very likely to be fake. Finally, let's talk about how to assess your own risk tolerance. Before investing in any altcoin, ask yourself these questions. How much of my portfolio am I willing to lose completely? Am I okay with holding this token if it drops 80 to 90%? If this project disappears tomorrow, would I be financially okay? Am I investing because of solid research, or am I being influenced by hype? Can I handle extreme volatility without making emotional decisions? If you can't confidently answer these questions, you may be taking on more risk than you should. The truth is, most altcoins will not survive the next bear market. Even strong projects that gain traction in a bull run often struggle when liquidity dries up. The best strategy is to treat altcoin investing as high risk from the start and have a clear profit-taking plan. So let's recap. To pick the strongest altcoins, you need to research the team on LinkedIn, Crunchbase, and Twitter. Check GitHub activity to see if a project is actively being developed. Look at CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap and TokenUnlocks.app to understand the tokenomics. Use Dune Analytics and DeFi Llama to track real adoption, and always verify if a community is real or just manufactured hype. Most importantly, know your own risk tolerance. If you're investing in altcoins, be prepared for extreme volatility and never assume a project is guaranteed to survive long term. Now, I want to hear from you. What are the key things you look for when picking an altcoin? Do you focus on fundamentals or do you trade hype? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to learn more about how to navigate crypto safely and profitably, check out learningcrypto.com. It's the best place to get real, practical crypto education. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.